Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I have been MIA for quite a while. I think it's been a month already. Guys, okokuqala, my phone crashed. I couldn't record, but we were able to fix that. And then I became sick, and then like emotions. No, it was not COVID. I was just not doing well emotionally and physically, but I'm back now. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for subscribing, even though there was no content. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for checking up on me day in, day out. Yeah, I'm back, guys. I'm back. Please continue to subscribe. Please continue to like. Please continue to comment. Please continue to share the link of the page, and we can all get together and start the ball rolling again. So as you can see with today's title, this week's video will be talking about self-publishing. As you all know, I am a self-published author, and we'll be talking about that. So if you are an aspiring writer and want to publish your work, you can hop onto this video, listen, and then you will get to decide which way do you want to go to, because we'll be talking self-publishing, its pros and cons, and then we'll be talking traditional publishing, its pros and cons. So you will get to decide what is it that you want to do. I have a little notebook here where I wrote all my notes about what I was going to be talking about. So please excuse me, because I'll be reading from those notes about how to go about the whole process. So yeah, let's get right into it. Guys, I had done a live virtual presentation about this topic, but now I can't seem to find the video, and people are still asking me how I came about to self-publishing a book. So I just want them to have a place where I can refer them to come check out the video and everything like that. So if you have seen this video, obviously there's something else that I've added, so you can still continue, but if you are on my Facebook, you'll be able to connect the dots with the video that I once did. Okay guys, so let's get right into it. So as I said earlier, there are two ways that you can publish a book. The traditional way, where everyone does it, that they go to a publishing house, they take their work there, and they ask that their work to be published by a publishing house, or you can just do all that the publishing house does by yourself. That's basically what it means to self-publish a book. Okay, so I just want to first get into the differences of okay, so yeah, those are the differences, but now the pros and cons of each, the self-publishing and traditional publishing, because both of them have pros and cons of both of them. So you'll be able to choose as to which way you want to go. All right, first of all, self-publishing, the pros of it is that there is you have full ownership. So you don't have monetary things that you like with your book. Now you have your book and you are not sharing it with anyone. It is your work. You decide what to do with it, and then when you are self-publishing, it is also fast to market, because you already have your accounts. You create your accounts for it, and you market it the way that you want to market it. For example, if you want to take it to Facebook, you can take it to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can do all of that with how you don't have to, there's no middleman that you have to cross, you have to ask, or you have to involve in how you market your book. And then you also have complete marketing control. You decide how to market it. You decide what to do when you are marketing it. So for example, you can go to the streets, you can market it like that, and the branding with the book is your own. You don't have other people that because when now you are with a publishing company, you usually have a page dedicated to them in the book or something like that. But when it's self-published, everything is your own. You decide which page is in the book, what is it for, and everything like that. And then you have complete creative control. Like with your book, if you wanted to have pictures in it, no one will tell you, okay, don't have pictures because of this and this. This is you decide how you want to go about it. And then you have complete freedom. You decide what to do with your book. As I said earlier, it's one of the same things. And significantly high profit potential. So the profits, you don't share them with anyone, you know. So when you decide that, okay, my book is going to be this much, you will decide, okay, my book is going to be this much, and these are my profits, and this is how it's going to work. Because you need to remember that there are also deliveries that you have to, courier that you have to consider when you have done printing the book, when you are delivering the book to people, you know. So you have to remember that there are those costs. You have to remember that there is profit that you have to keep for yourself, but you have to keep on reprinting, because also reprinting is also another issue, because now you have to go to this publishing house and this printing house, and mostly how they do it is that they decide, okay, when you order, let's say 1,000 books, it's going to be cheaper than when you order 100 books to print. So that's how it goes. So those are the things that you have to consider when you are doing your market price for the book, so that you have profit for yourself and be able to, the book keeps on reprinting itself, you know. So those are the pros, those are the pros of market of self-publishing. So now we can go to the cons, because it does have. And then the cons is that you have to make sure yourself that the book is 100%. You know, you have to choose the best editors. You have to choose the best, you know, the spelling. The people are going to proofread your book to make sure that the spelling is 100%. You have to make sure of that. It is your responsibility, no one else's. And then because you want to market your book faster, you don't have any marketing background, you don't know what to do, so that may lead you to having to hire a professional to do it for you, you know. So that could hinder. That could also be part of your costs. So it is quite an expensive exercise, because now you have to source out these certain individuals to help you with doing all of this. And then obviously you have to use money. You must be prepared that you will be using money. You must have like a certain budget. You must be, before you have, when you have your work here, you're like, okay, I have my manuscript, this is what I need, this and that. All those components that are able to bring out a book to life. You need to have a budget for that, and say that, okay, I need to have a marketer, a marketing person, I need to have a proofwriter, a proofreader, you have to have an editor. All those people, you need to have, okay, a plus minus amount, and then you can say that, okay, this is my budget, and you will not be frustrated, you know that, okay, you'll give this person a certain amount of time. You say to your editor, okay, I need a certain amount of time, this is how much I have. If they are willing to negotiate, you must also be careful of that. You mustn't ask people when they tell you that, okay, I have this price, that you offer this price, but now they offer this price, but now you want to negotiate and all of that, because to them it is their job. So you must be, when a person says, okay, this is going to be so much, you must know that you are going with a budget, and not try to change it for your own personal benefit. All right. And then there is traditional publishing. So pros of that is that you have monetary advance. That means that the publishing house will give you money. It will say that they will estimate that, okay, publishing this book will cost this much, and they will give you, so you won't need to have money for yourself, but that money you have to bring back in terms of the profits that you're going to make and everything like that. And then the publisher, it also invests money back into the book, so that is also helpful, because now they, with what they have, they invest back into it, so there is money into it in that way. Not much of the money that you have to use yourself, you don't have to use your personal money, because now when the publisher, they buy the book, they buy the work, so they have the money, so that's what it basically means. And then you have media coverage. They make those things happen for you, like media to advertise, to market your book and everything like that. And then they will, another point is that the highest chance of bookstore placement. So your book will be highly taken by other bookstores to place in their bookstores and everything like that. So your choice. And then cons is that it is nearly impossible to get a deal. It is hard, because now you have to pitch this idea of this book, of the story. Why do you want this certain publishing house to publish your story and all of that? And that could take a while. And then it is very slow to market, because now it would take 2+ years, because now they have to, it takes a very long time for a publishing house to market your book. And sometimes you wouldn't even see it, around, you wouldn't even see it, because publishing houses have certain rules and everything like that with social media and all those things. Bona, they have websites already, so now they'll say that they can't take things from their websites to Facebook or Instagram, to social media. They must be here. Another con is that you have no ownership of rights to the book. So that's what, as I said earlier, they basically buy the book from you. So it's not entirely yours, and the profits are split. So it could be 75-25, but the publishing house gets the more point, the more splits. Yeah. And then you have no limited control. You have no creative control, so you can't really decide, like because they bought the book from you, like you don't have any rights to the book. So they make sure that not that they make sure, but they make sure that their image is more out into the book. The publishing house image is into the book than yours. So you don't really have any, you can't just go there and say, oh, I wish that my book would have this and this and this and this. There'd be things they need to consider before doing that, because their image now is put into this book. And then so that's basically it between the two. So yeah, before we get started with anything else, as long as you know that there is a difference between the two. Right, guys, now that we have that part out of the way, you have decided now that, okay, I am going to self-publish this book on my own. What are the things that you need to consider? So we need to talk about the book as a whole before it becomes a book. The inside of it, the ISBN, the back of the book, how it's going to look, the cover, everything like that. We need to check that out. So with writing, there is a part before this book becomes a book. It starts off with being a manuscript. A manuscript is that part where you have written down by yourself, or you have typed it out, and then you have now these pages that need to be put together. Now, what do you do with that manuscript? So writing, one thing you need to remember when you start writing your book, when you say that, okay, I'm starting now to write, you need to remember that the reader was not there. I can't tell you which style to go about, first person or second person or whatever, but I can only just tell you that you need to keep the reader in mind at all times. You need to keep, when it's a story, when it's a when you say, okay, it was love, people need to feel that love out of the book. The person who's reading needs to feel that adrenaline rush whenever you are talking about something that needs for a person to feel adrenaline. So you have to think of those things, that okay, this person was in there, so let me let them into the book, and try by all means to make your book not be a put down book, you know, people not being able to put the book down, to keep it going, to make it interesting until the end of the book. So you need to keep that in mind when you are writing. You keep the reader in mind. Yep, that makes a good author. All right, and then the title. Mina, I chose my title when my book was with the editor. We both decided on the title because, yes, okay, this is what I was talking about, and she read it, and then we decided, okay, this is the title that we should give the book. So your title doesn't necessarily have to be when you are starting to write your manuscript. You can decide to the title after you've written the manuscript, and like, oh, okay, this is going to be the title of the book, you know, because there's a lot that your title has to you know, be in alignment with what you have written inside of the book, because the title has to be striking, and like even the person are like, what does this mean? I need to get my hands on this book. So you need to be sure of your title, of what it means and everything like that. So the title is also a very important part of the book. And then there's a summary at the back of the page of the book that also needs to be very, very short and sweet, right, straight to the point, so that the reader is able to pick up the book and just be like, oh wow, okay, no, let me get this book, and starts reading it. And then, okay, we get to the editing part. So as I said, when you are self-publishing, you need to make up your own team of this book. So you will need an editor, a proofreader, you'll need this and that and that and that and that. So when you are looking for these people, there's a lot of editors around. You are looking for a person who edits books, who edits newspapers and whatnot. You go down and sit with this person and let them know. And you need to remember that when you are writing a story, the person who must be writing or editing for you must be very creative minded, because they must also be able to put in some of their parts into the story. Because when I took my manuscript to the editor, it was like, okay, it's how I tell my story. So, but then she put in a lot of swaps, you know, to make it like, you know, to make it even more fun, to make it even more interesting to read, you know. So you need someone like that to be able to know, to connect with the story. So yeah, pray for your editors, pray for the team that is going to be handling your book, so that you are able to bring out the best of the book. The other person that you need, so yeah, the editor is there to refine your manuscript. That is the job of an editor. And then we go to a proofreader. A proofreader is checking for mistakes and the layout. Okay, so this means that this person is going to check that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dots, the comma is where it's supposed to be, the full stop is where it's supposed to be. Because as a writer and an editor, like, you're so excited, you're just writing and the editor is editing, but now the proofreader is there to make sure that, okay, in our excitement of writing, we were able to cross out the T's, to dot the I's, and the comma is where it's supposed to be, the full stop is where it's supposed to be. So you need a proofreader for that, and it makes sure that the book is in a certain layout. So when you get to understand a book, you can't just lay it out. It has to be straight, it has to be neat and all of that. So a proofreader makes sure of that. And then we have a graphic designer who is going to be responsible for all the graphics and artwork in the book and outside of the book. He makes sure that the layout of your cover page is excellent and it is what you want it to be. So in this instance you will need maybe a photographer to, if you want it to be your picture, or anyone else's for that matter. So you need a photographer and you need someone who did graphic designing to design now the outer part of your cover page, because for example, I was crying during ISBN color. I was crying the photo shoot. I was crying, but the graphic designer felt that it needed more emotion, more tears. So he added some more tears, and yeah, I'm crying. And then this whole detail and everything like this, how my title stands out and everything like that, the spine of the book, at the back of the book, he made sure of all of this it's flowing nicely. So he made sure of all of that. So you need an excellent graphic designer to make sure that all of this is just nice and cute and that everything is going well, you know. Like my title was just "My Father Took Away My Innocence, Purified and Sanctified at Last." But now you can just see my father, like it's striking, and it's always what I've wanted to be. The back of the book is also beautifully constructed and everything is just in place, you know. So that is what you need. That is what you need for a book, a graphic designer who knows the story. So yeah, and then we get to the marketing, you know? So marketing basically needs you know who your audience of your book is. You know who you want the book, whose hands you want the book to land on. So you decide as to where to market it, how to market it. Mina, I was already on social media. I went to social media, I marketed my book there, and people bought my book from there. There's also now WhatsApp. You know, there's a lot of media mainstreams out there that you can advertise your book from. There is Twitter, there's everything like that. You can advertise your book, people buy your book. So you know how to market it, where to market it. We also have t-shirts. You're going around in town in this t-shirt, people, you know, like, hi, what does this mean? You know, you explain to them, okay, it's this book. And you must always carry your book wherever you go. Always carry a book, because you don't know who you would meet. And you're like, okay, listen, I know you, can I have your book? Already you are selling your book. So keep that in mind. And then we get into printing. So you need to make sure that you are speaking to established printers, people who have been known for their printing, and ask to see their previous work, so that you know what you are getting yourself into. Always be there every step of the way. When they are printing the book, ask them, because most printing houses, when they are printing the book, they give you a copy to check and refine yourself, and like, okay, no, I don't like this cover, I don't like how it turned out, the glossy part, and this, so that you are able to change it. My publishing house probably did that about 3 times. And then we're like, okay, now we are okay with the book, we are ready for bulk printing. And then they also make sure that they deal with the layout of the book, that it looks nice, because in the end, when I'm asked who printed your book, I tell the people, so that they know that, oh, okay, this is what they do. So the layout, they also make sure of it as the printers. And then, oh guys, I cannot stress this enough. ISBN number. The ISBN number is completely free from the South African Library Services. Okay guys, I cannot stress this enough. The ISBN number, it is this number. Oh, I hope you can see it. It is this number. It is a barcode. The printing house also does this for you. The barcode, it also does this for you. And then this is the number. This is a number that they are able to recognize your book with. They are able to recognize your book with this number. So now, This number, you get it for free at the National South African Library, at the National Library of South Africa. National Library of South Africa. You get this number for free. You just email them, hi, Zizo Apleni with ID number so and so. This is the title of my book. Can I please request an ISBN number? And then within 2-3 days, you've got your ISBN number, and then your printing house does this barcode for you, and you are good to go. And then, the National Library of South Africa requests that when you have a book like this, when your book is a book, you take it to them, you send it to them so that they preserve it for you. So now my book is in Pretoria. This book will stay there for 100 years to come. I will be known that I was once an author. I was an author of a book titled "My Father Took Away My Innocence, Purified and Sanctified at Last" in South Africa. So when I went there, that guy told me that there are books from 1918. The books are still there. Your grandchildren this book will never get lost. Even if I would have something would happen that there would be no copy of this book, but the National Library of South Africa has a copy, and it is there to preserve it. So you are asked to take your book there, and they will distribute it to other libraries of South Africa where it is kept there for years to come. And then there is pricing. As I said earlier, when you are pricing your book, make sure that you have your own personal profits. You consider, sometimes it's easier to say excluding postage or courier, something like that. It is advisable to say that so that you are safe, so that you are safe. And then you consider those prices, you consider delivery, you consider now delivery from the printing house to your place for the bulk books, and then delivery from your place to the reader. So that is how it goes. You need to make sure of those prices. You need to that's mostly the pricing. You need to make sure that now the people that will be printing like the book. So as I said, so in many printing houses, this is how it goes. It says that, when you order 1,000 books, it's much cheaper to print than printing 100 books. You get what I mean? So the cost price will be different in that sense. It will be cheaper to order a bulk than one book or 100 books compared to 1,000 books. So you decide where your budget takes you. You'll be able to talk to the printing house. They will be able to meet you halfway. You can always be honest, tell them what your budget is, and there will be many printing houses are able to meet you halfway and everything like that. Last but not least is the book launch. So basically a book launch is just to tell your people that, okay guys, the project that I was busy with, it's out. Come and listen more as to what this book is about. And mostly many authors do it after selling a few copies. So many people come through and they've read the book already, and that's where it gets interesting, that people are able to ask you about certain pages in the book, like, okay, why did you write this, and all of that. So it makes more people even eager to read about the book, and that you take it to your social media and just, they talk about the book and people are interested in reading the book. And so you need a curator for that. Obviously you need audience, so you also need to market your book launch. Okay, this is coming. You advertise it that this is coming. People are excited about it, and they come through to the book launch, and you have launched your book. People know that now that you're an author, and you can do tours. You can make it exciting. Writing a book is really, it's exciting. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, who would have known that I would have written a book? And this is so special to me. It's one of it's one of my biggest accomplishments. I have achieved a lot. I've written a book. I have something to leave for victims out there. I have something to live for for mothers, for daughters, for dads, you know, something to read about, children to read about. I want this book to go far and wide. There's a lot coming up for it. There's a lot coming up for me, you know, and it will always be by my side. Wherever you see me, I talk about this book because I want it shared, because of the content inside and how it is so well put together, if I can say so myself. You know, we did the best with my team. I can't forget my mom, my family. You know, we did the best with this book, and that is all that you need. You need the best support system in writing a book. You need people to advise you. You need people to make sure that you do the right thing. So this is why I'm doing this video, so that I can refer people to this video so that they decide as to what is it that they want to do with their book, with their manuscript, and you know, get it out there with the content that they have. You know, you decide as to your audience, where to advertise, or how to market the book. So yeah, guys, that is the end of this video. I hope it was useful. I hope it helped a lot of people that wanting to go the publishing route, the self-publishing route. I hope it opened eyes or some people, you know, as to what is it that they would like to do for their work, for their manuscripts, and decide which way to go. It's all up to you how you decide that you want to do it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please continue to do so, and I will see you guys again next week. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, and bye.